So, on today's programme, we've heard a snapshot of some of the things companies are doing to improve lives in the communities in which they operate. Don't go thinking it's something every company does, nor that they provide the lion's share of funding for charities. A report by the Directorate of Social Change says the vast majority of charitable giving is still done by individuals, with companies only putting around 5% into the pot. But for those companies who do aim to make a difference, what is the business case for doing it? And is it really their role? Eamonn Butler is the director of the free market think tank, the Adam Smith Institute. Eamonn, do you think we should expect a modern, responsible business to spend money on social or charitable programmes?
No, I don't think we should expect it of them. You can't expect good deeds of anybody. You applaud them when they do good things that you value and think are important, but you can't expect it of them. And I think, one of the trouble...
Is there anything wrong with them doing it, though?
Oh, no, absolutely not. And if the shareholders and owners decide that this is a good thing to do, if they want to do that, or if they think it's good for their business, that it encourages the workforce, or it gives a good sort of feel-good to customers, then absolutely fine. Yes,
but some people argue that that's not their job. Their job is to actually provide good services and indeed pay a dividend or put money back into the business.
Yes, I mean, I feel very strongly that the best thing that businesses can do socially is really to produce goods and services cheaply and very high quality. And if you force them to do charitable work of one sort and another, then you are taking money out of that process, taking money out of the pockets of customers and out of the pockets of the staff. So I wouldn't force them to do this, but if they feel that it's right for their business and it's good positioning and it's good for their staff and all the rest of it, then all power to their elbow.
OK. Christine Bader is still on the line from New York. She used to work for BP. She's now an advisor on corporate responsibility. That's a fair point, isn't it? Companies exist to provide goods and services. It's not necessarily for them to engineer social change. Or is it?
Well, I think that's right. And I think that, what I like to seek and the companies that I work with seek is where the interests of business and the interests of society align. I would actually be okay if most corporate charitable giving went away and actually companies channeled that fund and, their funds and their resources and their energy into making sure that they're not hurting anybody in their supply chain, that charitable giving isn't used as a fig leaf or a distraction to cover up wrongdoing elsewhere.
OK. So in your experience, how willing are companies to do good for the wider world if there's not a clear business case for them doing so, that it is just the right thing to do?
Well, many of them are, but frankly, I really push companies who are speaking in those terms to try to find the business case, because what happens if a CEO is really concerned about his own reputation and his own legacy, when that CEO moves on, if there's not a business case and these activities are not well embedded, they're just going to go away, and that's actually worse.
But because there might be a business case for bribing, lying or polluting the country, if you're operating in a country or an environment where you can get away with it.
Exactly, and that's not good for anybody, is it?
No. Eamonn, I heard a grunt. Was that of assent or dissent?
No, I was agreeing, and you're quite right on things like the bribery case. I mean, I was involved in a company, and we were invited to give a bribe to a foreign government, and we decided not to do it because we don't want to be in that kind of business. So I don't think you can force firms, though, to be good at civics. I don't think they are naturally good at civics. I think that's something for voluntary and charitable groups, and the more that businesses produce, really cheap and really good services, then the more money people have in their pockets to do it as individuals.
Of course, we have oil companies responsible for oil spills, banks blamed for ruining the economy, the fashion industry accused of allowing the deaths of workers. Rather than talking about companies doing good, is Christine right? It's more about them doing no harm?
Well, that goes without saying. I mean, that's true not just of companies, but of individuals as well. Don't hurt people and don't steal their stuff. That's an essential moral thing, but you can insist on that, absolutely. What you can't insist on is on people actually physically doing good.
In a word, Christine, are you glad you got into the corporate whirlpool?
Absolutely. I think there's no more potentially powerful force for good than business, but it doesn't happen by accident.
OK, Christine Bader, Eamonn Butler, thank you. That's it for today. We're back on Monday. Have a lovely weekend.
You and Yours was presented by